Quarterfinals, finally, 1 year later. I'm so excited. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. These are my Euro 2020, really 2021 predictions. I'm super excited. So yeah, I have a cut on my finger. I was climbing yesterday and I ripped the callus off from the way that I fell, and it's really freaking painful. That's just a small life update, but let's get into this video. So obviously I don't know every single team in depth that's playing. I've done some research in the time that I've had, but I really just want to make this more of a prediction video based off of my gut and the research that I could do and my overall feeling about the team. So I will provide some info, some details, but it's more my Euro 2020 predictions. So first off, we have Group A, and we have Italy, Switzerland, Turkey, and Wales in that group. Wow, there's like a really big breeze. It's going to storm. Okay. Anyways, so looking at Italy, they are currently ranked 7th in the world. They have a really strong defense, and their manager, Roberto Mancini, has the highest win rate of any Italian manager at 70%. Chelsea players involved in the Italian team are Jorginho and Emerson. Then we go to Switzerland. They're currently ranked 13th, and they are a side that is pretty settled, and they have been playing together for quite a while. Now we go to Turkey. They're currently ranked 29th, but in their qualifying games they had 8 clean sheets and they only conceded 3 goals, so that could be something to think about. And then we look at Wales. They're ranked 17th. They have a lot of young talent like Dan James, Nico Williams, Ethan Ampadu from Chelsea, of course, and their star player in Gareth Bale. Looking at my predictions for Group A, I think that Italy is really going to top this group. I would be surprised if they didn't top it. And then for number 2, I was kind of going between Switzerland and Wales. Like, I could potentially see Wales having a good run and making second, but overall I think it's probably going to go to Switzerland, Wales, and then I rank Turkey in 4th. So now in Group B, we have Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and Russia. So Belgium obviously has a really strong squad. They're currently ranked number 1 in the world, which I was actually a bit surprised about, but they do have incredibly world-class players like a certain Eden Michael Hazard that us Chelsea fans know and love. He is fit and ready for the Euros, so I really hope that he has a fantastic Euros, and I hope that he has the impact on the team that he did in the 2018 World Cup. They also have a fantastic goalkeeper in Courtois. They have Kevin De Bruyne, who has been injured in the Champions League final, like we know, but hopefully should be back soon. They have Romelu Lukaku, who has scored 24 goals and 11 assists for Inter Milan and has scored 2 goals in 2 matches for Belgium. The problem with Belgium is that they do have an aging defense with the likes of Vertonghen and Alderweireld. Next, looking at Denmark, I think that they could low-key be a dark horse in this competition. They're currently ranked 10th. Their goalkeeper is Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester. I think he's a really great goalkeeper. And they also have Chelsea's own Andreas Christensen in defense, and they have Christian Eriksen in their midfield, and he's really like the creative outlet and playmaker for them. We know that Christian Eriksen just has a wicked shot on him sometimes. He can have a really good free kick. I think he's also on penalties for them. So I think that they could have a strong team, but their strikers have notoriously struggled a bit this season. Finland are currently ranked 54, and they will probably be relying on Timo Pukki for goals. And Russia are currently ranked 38, and they're probably hoping to replicate their incredible run in their own World Cup in 2018, but I don't know if that's really going to happen. I think that Belgium and Denmark really are going to get this group. So that brings me to my rankings. I have Belgium, Denmark, Russia, and then Finland. Group C is also really interesting. There's Austria, the Netherlands, North Macedonia, and the Ukraine, and I feel like all of these teams could be more or less evenly matched, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. So first, looking at Austria, they currently rank 23. They have a mix of young and senior players, and of course, David Alaba is one of the most important players for them and their leader on the pitch. In the qualifiers, they beat teams that they should have, but they also struggled against teams about their level or higher, so it will be interesting to see if they're able to beat those teams in the Euros. The Netherlands are currently ranked 16th, but they are without their star player Virgil van Dijk through injury, but they still have some really incredible players. So they have two of the brightest young talents in the world, really, in Frankie de Jong and Matthias de Ligt, and they have Memphis Depay, who plays for Lyon, and he has really found his form. He has 20 goals and 12 assists in the league this season, and he has 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 3 games for the Netherlands. So my friends that play fantasy Euros this year, I think that Depay could be a really good option. Now looking at North Macedonia, I don't have all too much to say about North Macedonia. They're currently ranked 62 and they have a lack of big tournament experience. And then we have the Ukraine ranked 24. So we have Austria ranked 23, Ukraine ranked 24. So that could be very interesting. Zinchenko is the star of that team. He plays in midfield for them. This is the 3rd time that the Ukraine have participated in the Euros, but they have done so by winning their group. So looking at how I've ranked it, it really could go either way, but I do think the Netherlands are going to top the group, but that 2nd spot is really up for grabs between Austria and the Ukraine. I opted for Austria, and then I have the Ukraine and then North Macedonia. I don't know if you guys can hear, but it's like thundering so hard out. So it's gotten so dark all of a sudden. You can tell because it's just my ring light that's lighting up the screen. But anyways, we move on to Group D, which is Croatia, the Czech Republic, England, of course, and Scotland. So looking at Croatia, they obviously made it to the final of the World Cup in 2018. However, a lot of those senior players have since left the team, but they do still have starman Luka Modric in their rank, and of course Chelsea player Mateo Kovacic as well. So they're currently ranked 14th in the world, and they also have some other really good players like Baaaack, who plays as a left back, and he has 1 goal and 6 assists for Rangers this season. Looking at the Czech Republic, they're currently ranked 40th. Their set pieces are strength. They have Thomas Souček, who has 10 goals and 1 assist for West Ham so far this season, but they have trouble scoring goals. And now looking at England, they're currently ranked 4th in the world, and they just have so many good players. Like we all know, Mason Mount, Reece James, Ben Chilwell. I really think that those 3 deserve to start. I don't know if they're going to start, but I think they do deserve to start. And then just the likes, oh my god. And then the likes of Harry Kane, Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, the list goes on and on. So I really think that England have such a talented squad, but they have been criticized for playing too defensively. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on in the Euros. Next we have Scotland. I kind of have a soft spot for Scotland. I don't know why. Like, I really want Billy Gilmore to succeed. They're currently ranked 44th, but they do have some really good players like Billy Gilmore, Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney. Che Adams has 9 goals and 5 assists in the league so far this season, so perhaps they could be a surprise. So looking at the groups, I think that England is going to top the group, with Croatia coming in 2nd, Scotland coming in 3rd, and Czech Republic coming in 4th. Next up, we have Group E, which is Poland, Spain, Slovakia, and Sweden. So looking at Poland, they're currently ranked 21, but they do have Lewandowski, who is an elite world-class striker. So any team with Lewandowski is automatically going to be leveled up. He's just that good of a player, but their recent performances have not led to much optimism among fans. Next we have Slovakia. They're currently ranked 36. They beat the Republic and Northern Ireland in the playoffs to reach this tournament. Now we have Spain, and Spain is ranked 6th. I'll try to get you guys some news on Spain. It's really a young squad this year. They don't have as many senior or star players. There are no players from Real Madrid in the Spanish squad. We do have a certain Cesar Azpilicueta in the squad, so I don't know if he's going to play, but I think he really freaking deserves to play. So I hope to see Azpi starting for Spain. But despite not having Ramos, for example, who is their captain, and I think that could potentially be a miss, they still have some really talented players like Pau Torres, Laporte in defense, Busquets. They have Dani Olmo from Leipzig. He has 2 goals in his last 3 games for Spain. Ferran Torres from City could also be a goal threat. So they do have some really talented players, and I'm excited to see how they're gonna get on this Euros. And then we have Sweden. They're currently ranked 18th, but Ibrahimovic is injured, so really don't know how they're going to play, because I think losing their starman is a really big loss to them. So I'm a little bit torn. I was going back and forth with this group because I do think that Spain is going to top the group, but then I was torn between Poland and Sweden. I ended up going with Poland in second, but I do think that Sweden could potentially take it, but I ended up going, well, they have Lewandowski, Sweden don't have Ibrahimovic, so I'm going to just lean it into Poland's favor. So my final ranking was Spain, Poland, Sweden, and then Slovakia. And finally, last but not least, Group F, or as I like to call it, the Group of Death, because we have France, Germany, Portugal, and poor Hungary is in this group. So looking at France, they're currently ranked 2nd in the world. They of course won the World Cup in 2018, and they just have a star-studded team with N'Golo Kante, as we know, Antoine Griezmann, Mbappe, Karim Benzema is back into the fold, and he is one of the most prolific goal scorers. Olivier Giroud as well. But it's going to be interesting how Benzema's inclusion could potentially affect the team, and also their demise could possibly be just themselves, because there have been reports that there was a little bit of a row between Mbappe and Giroud, because Mbappe was not passing to Giroud, and when Mbappe was subbed off, Giroud scored 2 goals. So I think that if they had any demise, it could be themselves, but I really think that their team is so strong that they're probably going to go on to win the entire tournament. Next we have Germany, ranked 12. Joachim Löw is going to leave as the German head coach after this year. Many are saying that he has overstayed and should have left years ago. Germany could potentially still be recovering from their 6-0 loss to Spain, but there are a lot of great German talents like our very own Antonio Rudiger, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, and they have Thomas Müller for leadership. I think he's a really underrated player. Honestly, I really like Thomas Müller. Manuel Neuer in goal. It's going to be interesting to see how Germany get on, because they have a very difficult group. We move on to Hungary, ranked 37, and they try to play aggressive football apparently, so it'll be interesting to see if they can give any of these teams a run for their money, but poor Hungary. And then finally we move on to Portugal, and I think that Portugal also have a really strong team. So they're currently ranked 5 in the world. Andre Silva is one of their forwards. He has scored 28 goals and 5 assists in the Bundesliga, and he might not be starting for their team, so it really just shows how good their team is. Of course, they have starman Cristiano Ronaldo, and there could be questions that the team is playing too much for Cristiano and not enough as a team, but Cristiano is just that good. You also have Bruno Fernandes in their team, the likes of Cancelo, Diaz, Pepe, Bernardo Silva, Joao Felix, Diogo Jota as well. So they just have a completely star-studded team, and I think that they are really ones to look out for in this Euros. So I have ranked them: France, Portugal, Germany, and Hungary. It's like really thundering now. So the interesting thing here is that after all these teams, the first 2 in each group go through, but then for 3rd place qualifiers, the 4 with the most points progress to the knockout stages. So for those teams, I have picked Germany, Sweden, Scotland, and Wales. Now we have the round of 16, and this was really difficult, like even getting to the round of 16. So Belgium versus Sweden, I went for Belgium. Italy versus Austria, I went for Italy. France versus Wales, I went for France. Croatia versus Poland, I went for Croatia. Spain versus Scotland, I went for Spain. And then how do England and Portugal play each other in the round of 16? Like I hope that maybe this doesn't happen. Like maybe if England don't top their group, they won't play Portugal. I don't know, or if Portugal come in first. But this was so hard for me. You can see in the video, I literally was going back and forth. England with my heart, Portugal with my head. But I have been backing Portugal to be one of the countries that goes farthest in this competition. So in the end, I decided to go with my head, and it hurts so much. And I hope that England and Portugal don't face off against each other. But it's gonna be a wicked game if they do. And I do think that England could take it. Like, I am really like 50-50. Like, I went 51% for Portugal, but I would love to see England beat Portugal, and I think that they could do it. Just have some question marks regarding playing too defensively maybe. So in the end, I went with my head. It hurt because I just felt like Portugal deserved to progress, but I also feel like England deserved to progress, so I really hope that they don't play each other. And then Netherlands versus Germany, I went for Germany in this one. Netherlands could perfectly go through as well, but I kind of made this one maybe half head, half heart. I do think that Germany probably would go through, but I'm also really rooting for the likes of Kai and Timo Werner to score and Rudiger to defend as well. And then between Switzerland and Denmark, I picked Denmark because I feel like they could be real dark horses in this competition. Next up, we have the quarterfinals. So between Belgium and Italy, honestly, it could go either way. It really could. I went for Belgium because I have a soft place in my heart for Belgium, for Hazard. So, you know, they are ranked higher, but Italy also have a really strong team. So again, you know, who knows, who knows. France and Croatia, I went for France. That one was easier. And then between Spain and Portugal, I went for Portugal. And it's interesting, like it could perfectly be Spain and England, and then who goes through between those two. So I don't know, but I went for Portugal in that. And then between Germany and Denmark, like I'm low-key rethinking it because I said Germany, but now I'm thinking maybe Denmark could pull through and take it. So I don't know, that could be like a surprise if they do face off against each other. I'm gonna stick with Germany, but you know, I'm just second guessing everything now. And then in the semis, Belgium versus France, I went for France, and Portugal versus Germany, I went for Portugal. And then in the final, France versus Portugal. And for me, this kind of is a final that makes sense. So I do like how my knockout ended up, and I think that France are going to go on to win this tournament. So guys, I hope that you liked this video. I want to know who you're betting on to win the Euros, what team you're rooting for as well. I have gotten a lot of questions. I'm rooting for England and Spain. I couldn't pick just one. England for like my heart with Reese and Mason and Ben Chilwell, but of course I live in Madrid and my husband is Spanish, so I must root on Spain as well. So I'm really excited, and he gets really excited about the Spanish national team, so I'm happy to have him join me watching some football games, which will be nice. So let me know in the comments what you thought about my team selection, who you think is going through, any dark horses that you have, key players. I want to know it all. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like this video, subscribe to my channel for more Euros content, and until next time, I'm out.